In other news, Tim Kaine. This is what I wanted to play yesterday because, you know, a lot of people, we're just acting like this didn't happen. But I want to play this. This is Tim Kaine, and he has been asked a question by George Stephanopoulos on Sunday morning, or actually I believe it was Monday, Good Morning America. So let's listen in to Tim Kaine.
On a different subject, Colin Kaepernick, who's been having that protest, refusing to stand for the national anthem, expected to do it again tonight at a game that's supposed to be honoring military veterans as well. You're the father of a Marine. What's your reaction to Colin Kaepernick?
You know, you got to respect people's ability to act according to their conscience. I mean, I'd do it differently. I think if you really thought about issues and about this country, you'd do it differently. And when I heard him explain his rationale, it didn't really make that much sense to me. But you got to respect people's ability to act according to their conscience. So I wouldn't presume to tell them what to do.
Senator Kaine, thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, thanks, George.
Yep, thank you. Yep, let's go back here. Okay, so Tim Kaine, vice presidential candidate running with Hillary Clinton. So a couple of things on this story. One, every media outlet that I saw who commented or wrote a piece about Tim Kaine only focused in on the fact that he said, I have to give, I have to have respect for someone who, protests their conscience, their conscience. They focused on that positive part, which I guess if that's what people are going to, no surprise there, except for the fact that dead smack in the middle of him saying, I respect his protest, he says, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I would have done it differently. I don't know. When I heard his explanation, it didn't make sense to me. Right there in the middle. Now, the reason this matters is because this is the Democratic vice presidential candidate. If you add this on top of the Guccifer 2 release last week, where it showed where the DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, if I got that right, had a memo passed around showing that their intention with Black Lives Matter was to say all the right things, but never really commit to any policy. You add that on top of Hillary Clinton's casual dismissal and not even casual, sometimes downright dismissive dismissal of Black Lives Matter across the campaign. And now you have Tim Kaine, who is basically saying he doesn't get it. Well, I'm not surprised he doesn't get it. I'm not surprised he does. And it's not the problem that he doesn't get it. The thing that bothers me is that we are not even going to discuss the fact that he doesn't get it, and he all but dismisses it, except for the fact that I respect that he actually, I respect that Colin Kaepernick actually protested, but I don't get it. And this is the problem I have. The problem I have is if we don't hold our politicians accountable right now, if we continue to ignore what they say, and make excuses for what they say and only hear what we want to hear and disregard everything that could be negative, then we're going to be stuck with politicians who do whatever the hell they want to do and have no accountability to us while they're in office because they had no accountability to us while they were running for office. And this isn't like it's not a huge thing to hang on Tim Kaine or to hang around Tim Kaine's candidacy, but it is just another piece in the puzzle which shows us they are going to triangulate. They're going to give us lip service. They're going to try to, because this is what the language was, right? It was simply that he wanted to not anger black people, but at the same time, he's triangulating and not trying to anger the white people who don't understand Colin Kaepernick's protest. And I think the thing that bothers me the most, on top of everything else that I just said bothers me the most, is the fact that this is completely and utterly ignored by black people who are pushing Hillary Clinton. Like, how much can we ignore? How often, how frequent? Because eventually, as small as this may be to some people, it's going to be the straw. There's going to be, rather, a straw that breaks the camel's back. There's going to be something where people say this little minuscule thing that happened where they casually dismiss black lives all of a sudden becomes huge because we did not address these things as they came up. We ignored them, we whitewashed them, we pretended like it didn't happen, or we focused on the good thing he said and completely erased the bad thing that he said. Because he started off saying, I've got respect for Colin, but I don't get it. And I'm not surprised he doesn't get it because a lot of white people, hell, some black people don't get it. But I need for the vice presidential candidate who is getting over 90% of the black vote to get it. I need Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine to not give this type of answer. I need them to understand why. I need them to get it. Because you're getting 90% of the black vote. The least you can do is understand the root of our protest, the root of our dissent. But, you know, they got a couple of black people on their team, or they probably have a lot of black people on their team who know how to circumnavigate these treacherous waters and make Trump out to be the racist that Trump is. But so long as we focus on the fact that Trump is a racist and he has all the white nationalists on his side, Democrats are excused from even understanding our protest, or only they're allowed to only give us lip service in terms of the things that are important to Black Lives Matter.